Hello student, welcome back to VPMP Polytechnic YouTube channel again. Hi, I am Shweta Patel. I am a lecturer in computer department. Today my topic is again applet programming and it is again a part of unit 1 and the unit name is Java applet. The main objective of our session is life cycle of applet. That means how the applet run in a web browser of the Java compatible. Then the attributes of the applet. Applet have a different types of tag which are used to implement different type of applet programming. Now we first discuss about the applet lifecycle. We all know that a Java applet is a program that is run within the web browser and it's actually a Java class that's run within the browser. Java provide the code for the applet. It's provide the special applet class while the browser start and stop it. And therefore, every Java applet inherit a set of the default behavior from the applet class. And so, when an applet is loaded, it undergoes a series of changes in its states. And this state are known as the life cycle of applet. The applet state are, the first state of applet is a born state and it is also known as a initialized state. The second state of applet, it is the running state. And the third state of applet is idle state. Fourth state of applet life cycle is a dead state. These are the main four states of applet life cycle. Each state has its own Java method which is specify the particular status of the applet, or we can say that the particular state of the applet. Now we discuss about the applet lifecycle diagram. This is the applet lifecycle diagram which contain main four state: born state, running state, idle state and dead state. The born state is also known as a initialized state, or we can say that applet begin from the born state. Applet enter the initialized state when it is first loaded, and this is achieved by calling the init method of the applet class. And so that we can say that now applet is born. The initialization occurs only once in the applet lifecycle. We do some task in this state, like create an object needed by the applet, set up the initial value, initialize the value of the variables, load images or fonts and set up the colors of the different graphics. To provide any of the behavior mentioned above, we must override the init method, and for that we use the init method with the syntax like public void init, and this method contains some action which applet will perform. The next state of the applet is a running state. Applet enter the running state when the system calls the start method of the applet class, and this occurs automatically after applet is initialized, after applet is born. The starting of the applet can also occur if the applet is already in a dead state or stop state. Unlike a init method, the start method may be called more than once time in a whole applet lifecycle. And for that, we override the start method to create a thread to control the applet. And we use the same syntax of the method start like a public void start method, and this method again contains the action. Now, the next state of the applet is the idle state. An applet becomes idle when it is stopped from the running. Stopping occurs automatically when we leave the page containing the current applet. We can also stop applet by calling the stop method explicitly. That means whenever user want to stop the applet, it use the stop method explicitly. If we use a thread to run the applet, then we must use a stop method to terminate the applet thread. For that, we override again the stop method using the same syntax like public void stop, and this method contain action, or we can say that the method body contain an action which idle method or stop method perform. The next state of the applet is a dead state. An applet is said to be the dead when it is removed from the memory, and this occur automatically by invoking the destroy method of the applet class when we quiet the browser. Destroying stage occurs only once in the applet lifecycle. If the applet has created any resources like thread, for that we override the destroy method to clean up these resources. And same syntax we use like public void destroy method, and this method body contain the action for clean up the resources. The last state, but not the least, that is the display state. Display state is not considered as a part of applet lifecycle, but applet moves to the display state whenever it has to perform some output operation on the screen, and this happen immediately after the applet enter into the running state. The display method use paint method to display the graphics on the browser. The paint method is called to complete this task, and almost every applet will have a paint method for completing this task, like drawing a rectangle on the applet compatible or Java compatible web browser. The paint method is defined in the applet class, and it is inherited from the component class as a superclass of the applet. And for paint method, the syntax is public void paint, and paint method contain a display statement, that means the statement which display the graphics on the applet screen on the Java compatible web browser. So this is all about applet lifecycle. Now we discuss about the attributes of applet tag. Applet have different types of attributes which is used to perform the multiple tasking of the applet programming. Like first tag of the applet is a code base, and it specifies the URL of the directory in which the applet reside. It must use in the remote applet. Why? Because in a remote applet we have to compulsory know that the address of the remote applet, and for that we use the URL of remote applet. So whenever we implement the remote applet program, then we have to compulsory specify the code base attribute in a applet tag. The next attribute of applet is a code. Code equal to applet file name dot class. That means it specifies the name of the applet class to be loaded, and it is the name of already compiled .class file in which the executable Java bytecode for the applet is stored. The next attribute of the applet is ALT, that is known as a alternate tags, which is used to specify non-Java browser will display the tags where the applet would normally go. The next attribute of the applet is a name, which specify a name for the other applet on the page may refer to this applet, and this facility is used for inter-applet communication. The next attribute of applet is a width. It specifies the width of the space on the HTML page that will be reserved for the applet. The next attribute of the applet, it is a height. It is the same as the width. Width and height both use the pixel to specify the width and height of the space on the HTML page that will be reserved for the applet. The next attribute of the applet is align or alignment. Alignment of the applet on a page. The alignment of the values are like a top, bottom, left, right, middle, etc. The next attribute of the applet is vSpace. It specifies the amount of vertical blank space the browser should leave surrounding the applet. It used only when align some vertical alignment. It specifies with the align attribute. The next attribute, it is the hSpace. It is used only when align is set to the left or right. It specifies amount of horizontal blank space the browser should leave surrounding the applet. And the last attribute of the applet, it is a param name. This is the parameter attribute which is used to pass the parameter like passing a parameter in a main method. And the last one is closing the applet. The square bracket indicate that this tag are the optional, but without the square bracket we declare the attributes are the compulsory. That means we have to compulsory import applet tag with the code, width and height. That means code, width and height are the compulsory attribute, are the mandatory attribute which are compulsory use the applet tag. Now, hope you are clear about the applet lifecycle and the attributes of applet in a Java. Thanks for watching my video. Thanks a lot.